Hi everyone, and welcome to our CLN presentation for Group 4. Our group, Wicked Thinking in Motion, examined the wicked problem with recent graduates as our customer segment. However, as I am sure we all know by now, breaking the wicked problem down into something that was somewhat understandable and manageable was fraught with difficulty, and it took much research, discussion, and deliberation for us to turn the wicked problem of how to kickstart a sustainable enterprising lifestyle into something we can understand and work with. So we interpreted the wicked problem in line with our recent graduates customer segment to actually be about how to assist recent graduates to use their initiative and education to launch a meaningful and lasting career. I'm going to talk in more detail about how we came to this interpretation, but I just wanted to let you know the direction that we are heading in as I go through this presentation. As this slide demonstrates, the issue of underemployment is very serious. There is an upward trend of people being forced to rely on social and financial assistance, which is intrinsically linked to the upward trend in underemployment. When these factors are combined with the lack of solutions currently being implemented, the situation is indeed dire. Families are going to continue to be impacted both financially and socially into the foreseeable future as a result of this wicked problem. Urgent and constructive action is clearly required now. Fueled by the urgency that is required in this context, our group narrowed down our research to determine the underlying causes of underemployment in the Australian economy. These were found to be threefold. Firstly, there is much social pressure on students to attend university after they finish secondary school. It has become a social norm, and the ambiguity that students face at this time of their life often means that going to university is a default option. Secondly, and possibly as a result of this first reason, upon completion of their degree, graduates lack real-world skills that will make them an asset to an organization. Often, what they have learnt at university is overly theoretical, and this does little in preparing them for a career in their industry. And lastly, on a more macroeconomic level, there is a vast disconnect between the jobs that are available in the Australian labour market and the degrees and university career pathways that students pursue. In light of these findings, we decided to focus on the second underlying cause of underemployment for recent graduates, that is, the lack of real-world transferable skills. As such, our initial idea was to organise work placements for recent graduates to work on short-term projects. For graduates, the underlying value was work-ready training so as to better prepare them for careers in their relevant industry, and employers were able to gain access to recent graduates to help them with more labour-intensive projects. This can be seen here in our initial BMC, where we have been developing a value proposition based on the provision of work placements and work-ready training for recent graduates. In the blue, you can see how we have developed our BMC in relation to our recent graduates customer segment. Our focus here is on securing suitable work placements and the ongoing upskill of our graduates. In the green, you can see how we have developed our BMC in relation to our industry partners, with a particular focus on direct marketing and the benefits that graduate placements will provide their businesses with. This BMC is the culmination of many hours of research, brainstorming, and discussion, and I'm going to expand on the process that we used to get to this point. Our group employed the double diamond design process to guide us in our development of a solution to the wicked problem. This meant many iterations at the research, insights, ideation, and prototyping phases of this process. Indeed, uncertainty and iterations have continued right up until the recording of this presentation. In our initial research of the wicked problem, we uncovered much information on how much underemployment is worsening in our economy, as well as the negative flow-on effects that have stemmed from this issue permeating more and more throughout society. As such, we aimed to look at the underlying factors that contributed to underemployment so as to develop minimization strategies and solutions. We discovered a number of underlying elements, which included that there is an increasing number of graduates each year as a result of university offerings expanding, that more and more young people are opting for tertiary study rather than trades, and that there is a mismatch between graduate skill levels and the current needs of industry. Based on these underlying factors, we sought to identify a common theme so as to develop a value proposition for our customers. Basically, we wanted to find out what would really help to minimize this issue for our customer segment. We found that the mismatch between the skills that students are gaining at university and what is required of them at an industry level was the most prominent issue. We also found that structural changes in the economy have led to students requiring more practical, on-the-job training. Ultimately, there is a significant skills gap between the skills that recent graduates possess at the completion of their degree and what will actually contribute to a more profitable workplace in their industry. This insight enabled us to conduct more research into possible ideas as to how this skills gap could best be overcome, as well as how we could kickstart a sustainable enterprising lifestyle for underemployed youth. So we came up with 4 key value propositions, as you can see on this slide. On the one hand, we saw that there were opportunities to help develop graduate skills further to transition to a role within organizations that may require a different skill set or to become more entrepreneurial. And on the other hand, there was the notion of placing graduates in business to work on different individual projects. We also thought about offering an information service to high school students to better understand the labour market and employment prospects for their career aspirations. As you can see, these ideas are quite divergent and reflect the many thought processes and iterations each of our group members have experienced thus far in this course. The divergent nature of our different value propositions has led to each of us presenting a variety of BMCs in our prototyping phase. Even in the development of each of our own individual BMCs, much iteration went on as we grappled with creating value for our customer segment, but also in developing a business model that would be sustainable and self-sufficient. For example, in Dale's BMC, the value proposition here is focused on providing recent graduates with a bridging course and framework which encourages enterprising thinking. The idea here is to customize the bridging course to the needs of individual graduates and to equip them with the latest market trends and data about opportunities for career development in different fields. In Erin's BMC, the value proposition is to bridge the gap between the skills possessed by graduates and those required by employers by teaching them work-ready skills, but also placing them in internships to gain real-world experience. This will help them prepare for the workforce after graduation and make graduates more attractive to potential employers. Similarly, CASA's focus was on developing a work placement program for recent graduates that would enable them to gain work-ready skills through on-the-job training in a workplace that was relevant to their degree. However, she grappled with the idea of making it a profitable, self-sustaining business model without the need for government grants or subsidies. In Sean's BMC, there is a 2-pronged approach to overcoming the wicked problem. The first prong was to focus on reducing the problem by providing workforce information for prospective and current students about graduate employment rates, jobs, and sectors. This would ensure that students can make an informed decision when selecting what they want to study. The second prong was to offer entrepreneurship training for underemployed graduates to help them commercialize their skills and launch their own startup. The value proposition present in Dominic's BMC is in bridging the skills gap between graduates and the needs of employers. By providing a bridging course that allows graduates to upskill or cross-skill, graduates gain the skills that are necessary to meet the changing demand of employers and the economy. Equally, employers can send new employees to participate in this course. So lastly, in looking to the future, our group aims to review all of our individual BMCs and continue our discussions in order to develop a concerted and plausible solution for this wicked problem. In doing so, we will continue to challenge the assumptions that we have in relation to our business model and iterate it where needed to ensure we have the best possible outcome for our customer segment and the Brotherhood of St. Lawrence. At the moment, our thinking is that our BMC will incorporate work-ready skills training, work placement opportunities, and information regarding employment trends in different industries. Thanks for listening, everyone. We're looking forward to taking your feedback on board to further develop our BMC.